Hi, my name is Darren Joseph from HNWIs. We're the team that seeks to demystify the sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today I'm in Jakarta, Indonesia, a member of a larger practice called Moores Roland here in the Asia Pacific. And twice a year, we get together as partners from across 18 countries, 40 offices. I'm the chair of the tax working group, and it's an amazing opportunity to get together with my fellow international tax practitioners and share information on emerging trends in the international tax space. Today, I want to talk about the migration of high net worth individuals, or multimillionaires, in 2023. This is data that's coming to you from Visual Capitalist. And for those who are watching this, there'll be screenshots of it so you can have a look. Otherwise, if you're listening to it on a podcast, you can just visit visualcapitalist.com for the information that I'm using for this. So again, I would expect, like with most data sets, it's not going to be perfect. You can challenge the methodology. However, it does point to certain trends. And one of the trends, again, this is not a surprise. The most attractive jurisdictions in the world, generally speaking, as a cluster, would be your big five English-speaking countries. So the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand. Overwhelmingly, as a cluster, this is where high net worth individuals, regardless of where you are in the world, this is where you want to be. So that much is clear. Now, separately and distinct from that, there's another data set which shows the cities in the world with the highest concentration of ultra high net worth individuals. And unsurprisingly, it's highly skewed towards the United States. In terms of millionaire migration trends, US, Canada, no surprises. I think what is a big surprise is the UAE. But however, bear in mind, it's a trend. So yes, there's been a high influx of high net worth individuals into the UAE. But bear in mind, there still are more billionaires in Switzerland than the UAE plus Singapore combined. So yes, there's a lot of growth, but there's growth of a small base. So just to kind of bear in mind how you should look at the data. So that's why I look at this in concert with the other data set, which is the cities in the world with the highest concentration of billionaires and millionaires. And overwhelmingly, it's the US. When you look at the top 10 cities in the world, number one is New York, number three, San Fran, number six is LA, seven, Chicago, eight, Houston. So, right there, you have half of the top 10 being in the US, which is quite interesting. Number two is Tokyo. Number nine and number 10, China. Number five is Singapore. So basically half Asia and half the United States. And in Asia, just the last two, number 9 and number 10, are your China. Japan and Singapore are ranked higher. So that's to show you where things sit relatively. Interesting that for us dealing with clients that we do all the time, we obviously see it differently. We see people choosing jurisdictions where they can live their best life. That's what it's about. And then you optimize for taxes after. I think the UAE has seen a huge bump. And, I love the UAE. We have an office there. I have my Emirates ID. I'm a resident of the UAE. I'm constantly in and out. It's experienced a bump as a result of the troubles going on in other parts of the world, which we don't really need to get into. But it is an amazing place to be. It is still a great place to be. But what these data sets are telling us is just a reminder that it's not about chasing low tax. It's about understanding where you would live your best life and you optimize for tax afterwards. And overwhelmingly, the United States is still the place to be. And what is interesting is when you look at on the top 10, there's of New York, Miami, LA. You have other parts of the country. What makes the US attractive too is the economy is, relatively speaking, doing quite well versus other markets in the world right now. Education, despite the growth of wealth in other parts of the world, it is noteworthy that even when you look at lists of centimillionaires in other parts of the world, there still are overwhelmingly graduates of American universities. So the high net worth families in other parts of the world, they make the education play. They make sure they have their visas, they have their green cards, so they enable their kids to get access to the best universities in the world. And the US, yes, it does have its challenges. I keep saying that because we need to be honest, but it does offer enclave living. Something like half of the new builds in the residential space are gated communities. So when someone is high net worth, they can't afford themselves the luxury of isolating themselves from the troubles around them. Of course, we're here at HNWIs. We do offer U.S. pre-immigration tax planning. We work intensively with families from Asia and from Europe who do see the opportunities that the United States has to offer, and we help them with pre-immigration tax planning. And this would include areas like dealing with PFICs. This is passive foreign investment companies, which are basically foreign mutual fund structures, and we help mitigate or plan around that. Ways of accelerating income recognition, basis step up, managing your foreign tax credits, potentially leveraging qualified dividends from treaty jurisdictions, leveraging trusts or leveraging PPLIs, which are private placement life insurance policies. So if you want to take advantage of the opportunities that the US does offer, you want to move to the US and you need help with pre-immigration tax planning, give us a call. My name is Darren Joseph from HJ Tax.